Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and record it.
Okay, sounds good.
Let's go. All right, so I'm assuming he's hopping in.
I think so. I don't know. I just texted him and asked him if
Yeah,
he's ready.
no problem. No
I
problem.
haven't heard anything back yet, so we'll
No
see.
problem. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he's a married man now, so
He is a married man. He could be busy.
yeah, you're right, right. Look, the husband duties. I get it. Whatever that entails.
Yes.
Look, I don't want to know. No, I'm fine.
One day you might know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I definitely hope to absolutely. I definitely want to one day know myself. Absolutely. I think marriage is a beautiful thing, you know?
Mhm.
Ooh. Man,
Mm.
yeah, because you've already experienced that.
I did. It
Oh, I'm actually. Oh, you bet the actually. I think I just changed the entire topic today.
Change the topic. Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
yeah. I think you just changed it. Um, let's see, I would say, yeah. Actually, you just changed it. All right. So until you hops in, I got a topic. I got a topic.
All right, all right.
Let's dive into it. And you've been married, so for
Uh-huh.
you, this will be a topic or a question that I think you can definitely expound on. But
Okay. Talk upon it.
let's
I
talk
mean,
about it.
we do know that my marriage was not successful.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that at all. Like, not successful. What is successful? Like what is successful in terms of marriage? Is that because can a marriage be successful and then something goes wrong? Is a marriage successful only in the aspect of it being that you both die together, or someone dies but you both are faithful, or someone, what I'm saying? Like, is that the only definition of successful? What would you define successful marriage as?
Um, hmm. Oh, okay. That's a good question. I
Hmm.
mean, I guess like I think a successful marriage is one where where the partners love and respect each other, like throughout the entire thing.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
despite the problems,
Yeah.
just the, you know, like and they strive towards that.
Yeah.
Like that's what I would define as a successful marriage.
Mm.
Is and yeah, I would say that it would include being together till the end.
Mm. Yeah.
But it's not just that you're together until the end. Like
Yeah.
that's not the only definition of success. The definition for me of a successful marriage is the continued love and respect despite the problems.
Mm.
Like like it's always, coming back to each other
Yeah.
and remembering why you're there or what the reason is.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that would be like a reason that I would say that my marriage was unsuccessful is
Mm. Yeah.
because there wasn't that love and respect wasn't there.
Yeah. I see that. I see that.
That's why I would call it unsuccessful.
Do you feel like do you feel like how should I say how I can like word the question? Do you feel like both people have to be solid in their mental like health before stepping into it? And before actually stepping
You,
into it?
I don't think you necessarily both have to be solid in your mental health
Hmm.
necessarily. I mean, there's going to be like, everybody has struggles every so often.
Yeah.
There's the dips sometimes. And
Hmm.
I think even when you have mental health issues or like have something that's going on with you,
Yeah.
like you still want a partner that can be there to support you and love you through those things.
Yeah.
And you still having like even if you do have like that like mental health something
Yeah.
like if you're struggling with depression or anxiety, that doesn't mean you can't still love and respect them like through that too. Like it just means you're having struggles, but it's nice to have somebody that can be there for you through them, and can like you know, I guess kind of
Right,
pick up
thank you.
the
Have a good one.
slack where you can't.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Um, so I don't think you have to be 100% like mentally there,
So
but
yeah, yeah.
I think it is like important to have a sense of, I think the more important thing is having a sense of who you are and knowing that,
Hmm.
um, more than anything.
Yeah. But not that you both have to look for this perfection of mental
No,
health.
mm-mm,
Okay.
because you're not gonna find like nobody is 100% perfect.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna find somebody who's perfect, um but if you can find somebody that's willing to work like that it that loves you despite your flaws,
Yeah.
you know, um and like you both work towards and you love each other despite each other's flaws, you know,
Yeah.
um
Mhm.
and you can figure out ways to communicate, you figure out ways to like just get through life.
Yeah.
I think I mean, I know for me, like there has to be a foundation of faith.
Yeah.
Like and without that,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like that's like very important for me. So like without that foundation of faith,
Yeah.
like you can't build on it. Like
Mm,
if you don't have like if you don't have a steady foundation for your relationship,
yeah.
like I don't think it's going to last. Like
Yeah.
to have a like a firm foundation.
Yeah. So my spiritually.
Yeah, spiritually, and I mean, spiritually is the best. Like that's the firmest foundation.
Yeah.
Like truthfully, but I mean, there are people who don't believe. So and and have successful marriages. Um, so but it's like, what is their foundation, or what is your like if they have a foundation that's built on like you have to figure out like what is your foundation? What brought you together?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, I mean, it was actually a bishop that I went, like the church I went to in Georgia when I lived in
Yeah.
Georgia, the
Hmm.
bishop there, he said, there's a home church, and one of the sayings that he had was, "What brings you to a place will take you from it."
Wait, wait, wait. Oh, wait. What brings you to a place will take you from it?
Mhm.
Oh, wow. I never heard of that. Never heard it like that before. Wow.
Yeah. So like, I mean, so it's something that
Mhm.
um, so like for me, um, I come back to like when I got married, I was like still very insecure and very like, and I was just, I think, honestly, in love with the idea of being in love.
Yeah.
Just was happy that somebody had chosen me, you know?
Mm,
And so, like, I just wanted someone.
yeah.
And it wasn't that I didn't love him or I didn't have love for him, but like, I was insecure at the time and I didn't really know who I was. And because
Yeah.
I didn't know who I was, it wasn't really until I figured out who I was. And part of that was being separated, like
Yeah.
from him by being in the army. And because of circumstances, we were separated.
Yeah.
That I actually learned and grew confidence in myself and figured out
Mm,
who I really was deep
yeah.
down core. And once I figured that out, that's kind of like what brought me out of it too.
Yeah.
Brought me out of the marriage because I realized that we weren't a good fit.
Yeah.
And he knew that too. But it's just like, there's a lot. So I guess so in that sense, what brought me into the marriage was insecurity, but what took me out of it was my lack of insecurity,
Mm,
my confidence, or like knowing who I was.
yeah.
So that's how I would describe, or like that's how I think about that saying that he said, what brings you to a place will take you from it.
from
And
it. Yeah.
and it can also keep you there though. Like if you think about it, it can also
Yeah.
keep you there. Because if you have
Mhm.
like the steadfastness, in Christ or in, you know, just that steadiness,
Yeah.
then it can keep you in a place as well. Like it can keep
Mhm.
with love and grace and compassion for each other
Yeah.
and can bring you back as long as you both can come back to it. Like you both come back to the foundation. It's like, why did you get married in the first
Yeah.
place? What was it for?
Hmm. That's good. That's really good. Yeah, I think it's very I don't think people talk about that. Like how you can come into marriage and still like support each other's mental health. And what would you say were some or are some ways that a married couple can support each other's mental health? Like how can a husband help a wife mentally and a wife a husband mentally? Like what are certain things that you wish had happened or did happen when it came to your mental health and marriage and that support from your husband, ex-husband?
I mean, I guess I do appreciate that he encouraged me to seek counseling. So
Mm,
like, that's something that I think is important,
yeah,
like being willing or, encouraging your spouse to seek help when you think that they need it, especially when it's not
yeah,
it's your expertise either. Like it's something you can support them in, but it's not something that you know how to help them with necessarily. So you're like, I can't
yeah,
take this burden myself, but I know like I'll work through it with you, but I think you need, you know, somebody else who knows more about it than me. Like
yeah.
even like encouraging your spouse to go to the doctor when they're sick. You
Hmm.
know? Like um it would be like that. Uh and I think just supporting each other, like
Yeah,
communicating, like working through like even with like working through past triggers and traumas, like,
yeah,
respecting them and saying and like, talking through them,
yeah.
not belittling them for their feelings would be something that's
That's
important.
good. That's good. Yeah,
Like just because somebody has a feeling, that doesn't mean you have to have the same feeling. Like you don't
yeah,
have to agree. Like just because you're husband and wife doesn't mean you have to agree on everything.
yeah.
Um, but like just being kind and like caring towards the other person,
Hmm.
recognizing their feelings and talking through it
Yeah,
is like I think the most important things. And when you need to, bringing in other people, like maybe for mediation or different things, like it's not bad to seek help,
yeah,
but I think allowing people to like have some space too when they need it. Just,
yeah,
I mean, honestly, it's just like it's communicating with each other.
yeah.
Communication is key and communicating how you feel, um, like on both sides.
Hmm.
So
That's good. That's good. That's really
yeah,
good.
that's what I got.
No, I love that. I love that. Would you say that would you say that marriage is something that picture perfectly should aid in your mental health? You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of people that are like, man, when we get married, they're like, man, you're trapped. It's like, hey, you have a lot of people that have that mentality where it's like there's a
Yeah,
bachelorette party or a bachelor party before the marriage because it's like, oh my goodness, you're about to be locked down. Like, you got a lot of people that talk about marriage like it's like a, you know
like
what I'm saying?
yeah, like a prison sentence.
Like a prison sentence. It's like, man,
Mhm.
you're about to be,
See,
you're going, mm,
I don't know. I think that's like where it's like if you feel that way, I think that you're probably going into it for the wrong reasons.
Mm.
If you feel that it's going to be a prison sentence to you,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it will be.
Yeah.
You know, it will be a trap because you'll feel
Mm.
like you're like, what am I missing out on?
Yeah.
Like that you already have that mentality going in. If you have that mentality going in,
Yeah.
you're gonna want to explore and look
Mm.
and like you're gonna feel trapped.
Yeah.
Like I think if you have that mentality, that's you're not ready then,
Yeah.
truthfully. And it's
Because
not
you're
like
saying,
you can have a party, like I mean, like the parties are fun, but so like to me it's more like what the
mhm.
bachelorette party or the bachelor party should be is a celebration of them getting married. Like it's a celebration. It's not a last hurrah for you to do whatever.
Yeah, a lot of people do that though.
I know a lot of people do. And like, there's nothing inherently wrong with that, I guess. But I think like if like
There's nothing inherently wrong with
well, I think
it.
if the friends have like the friends might have that mentality, they might be like joking around with you. But I think
Mm.
I think the more important thing is does the person who's getting married have that mentality? Do they think that is a trap? Do they think that and if they do, why are they getting married? Why are you getting married? There's nothing that says you have to get married.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So like
Not everybody should get married. Like what the?
so so I don't know if you have the mentality that it's going to be a trap, then it will be, I think,
Yeah,
or a
yeah,
prison. Then it will be. But if you like doesn't mean that there's not going to be like issues.
yeah,
Like I said, like everybody there's going to be issues. Like when you're
yeah,
living with some like when you like start living with somebody full time,
yeah.
you learn a lot about
A
them.
lot about them. Yeah,
And some things you are very annoying.
yeah, yeah,
So like you have to learn how to deal with it
yeah,
or communicate that and
yeah.
figure out like
Communication.
what are things that you have to like figure out like the cleanliness
Yeah.
of the house or like
Hmm.
I don't know when you wake up or all of the different things, but it's all about like communicating those things and you figure out a
Yeah.
schedule and you figure out a routine and you figure out like how to live together.
Hmm.
Really love each other. It's fun,
Yeah.
and that's how it should be.
Yeah. That's good. That's really good.
But I
Oh,
think
that's good.
it can be like, I mean, it can be good for your mental health or it could be detrimental. It just depends on how you, I mean, like if you're able to communicate
Yeah.
well with your partner or not.
Yeah. I feel that. But it's not like you're supposed to. You're saying, but you are saying that ultimately marriage is something that doesn't that should benefit your mental. It sounds like you're like more so saying that it should be a benefit
I
to
think
you.
it should be a benefit to you. Yeah, I think it should be a benefit. Definitely
Yeah.
it should be a benefit to you. Um,
Yeah.
Marriage is a very good thing.
Yeah. Right. That's
If
that's what's up.
if it's with I mean, especially if it's with the right person for you, like again, especially if it's with the right person.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big one. That is
Mhm.
a big one. Especially if it's with the right person. You know what I'm saying? Because you can have the wrong people, or you can get married to the wrong person, and that could greatly impact your mental. You know, I have people now, I know people now who are they didn't even get married, they just had kids, with the
Mhm.
person. And that alone just kind of like it's destroying their mental,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that you know, I just think about like you have to take responsibility for your own mental too. Like you can't
Yeah.
place it on other people,
Yep.
but other people do play a role like in um I mean it's like we've talked about before, the
Mhm.
people that you keep in your circle,
Yeah.
your spouse is going to be a big part of that circle.
Yeah.
Like there's someone you see every day. There's someone that's in
Yep.
your life every day.
Mhm.
Um, so it's important that you choose wisely, I guess,
Yeah.
because they will it will affect you.
Yeah. Would you would you say that if someone is mentally struggling, right? Let's say they're mentally struggling or well, you know what? Actually, let me ask you this question. Would you marry someone that has a mental disability? Or do you think that someone should marry someone that has a mental disability? And when I say a mental disability, I'm saying someone who may be struggling with bipolar, schizophrenia, like really severe mental health
Mhm.
things where it's like, hey, like this could be this could be a problem,
A really
with
yeah.
yeah, like having kids with this person. Like these things could be really big. Would you say that a person like that should get married?
I mean, I think everybody deserves to get married and have love if they want it.
Mm, yeah,
I think that it's important to be upfront about those things.
yeah,
I think also the person who is struggling with
yeah,
those issues, I mean, if
mhm,
they know about them,
mhm,
they're hopefully getting treated for them
yeah,
and are working toward towards like understanding them and know them about themselves. Like as if
mm,
they're self-aware, I mean, I think that and then the spouse or the person that loves them, that came to love them, I mean, like it doesn't mean like there will be struggles and there will be things, but I think I mean, I wouldn't want to ever say that anybody with any kind of disability, mental, physical, anything,
yeah,
like, yeah, there's struggles with it, but they still deserve love. They still deserve
mm,
that care. They still deserve like to find somebody, you know?
mm,
And I don't think there's any reason that they should be left alone, you know? Nobody should be left alone in the world. Um,
yeah,
all meant to like live in community and live together. So
yeah,
like I'm just gonna cast somebody aside because they have struggles.
yeah,
Um, so I think uh it doesn't mean that it won't be like there won't be challenges, but
yeah,
like hopefully they are, you know, they are self-aware enough to get help, you
yeah,
know, or listen to someone to get that help, I
yeah,
guess. Like, that's my thought on it. Like I think I mean I do know like sometimes I guess like you don't necessarily know that someone was struggling with it.
yeah.
And if it comes to a point where like I know that there were people that I've known or had like stories like where um the mental health disorder did get so bad that they did end up having to get a divorce from that person.
Oh wow. Hmm.
Uh, but again, that was more so because they tried their best with
Yeah.
that person, like they tried as much as they could, like they
Hmm.
gave it their all, but that person wasn't willing to get help, and in the end it was like hurting the other person
Yeah.
mentally. And
Hmm.
so in some cases like you might have to like separate or get
Hmm.
divorced, do
Yeah.
something like that, like and it and it's sad, but it's
Yeah.
also I, if they're not willing to work with you to get help, like if you're trying, like and it's affecting you,
Yeah.
like I think it's okay to walk away as well. It doesn't
Hmm.
diminish your love either. Like that's like how we've talked about even with boundaries with people,
Yeah.
whether you love them a lot or not, like sometimes the people that you love the most hurt you the most.
Yeah.
And they have the like, and if they're really not changing or they're not
Yeah.
apologetic or there's not like, and you're doing all that you can,
Yeah.
but it's really affecting you mentally,
Yeah.
you gotta take a step back for yourself. You have to. Like, um, sometimes you have to be a little bit selfish,
Mm.
but it's a balance of that, like, you know?
Yeah. No, that's good. It's definitely a balance. Like you said, it's
Yeah,
definitely a balance. Yeah, like you're right about that for sure. There's definitely a balance there too. It's a hard situation.
yeah.
It's a hard situation. You know what I'm saying? Because you have people who don't, they come into marriage with no mental health issues, and then they end up having mental health issues,
Hmm.
because then they're dealing with, they're then dealing with things, or they're going through something traumatic, let's say a car accident or a near death experience. Maybe they got held at gunpoint, and the
Hmm.
husband or the wife then mentally starts to become very depressed from that, or they're in like a house fire and everything gets burnt up, and it's like one of them is taking medications, they can't sleep,
Yeah.
and that's affecting them, and they just had a newborn, and they have two other kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Hmm.
that can really, you know what I'm saying? We've seen situations or heard about situations where that has like really ruined a marriage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not even unfaithfulness at that point. It's just
Hmm.
like the fact that,
Life
hey,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
and like you said, I think that's very sad and unfortunate when you do hear those things. Because, then it's like, man, like this is deeper than just, you know, um, someone wasn't faithful.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, dang, like everything seemed to have been right, but this event happened that triggered a whole aspect of events that is now triggering a whole other aspect of events that is now, and
Yeah.
so
Well,
that's sad. Hmm.
there's things that there are a lot of things that happen, like,
Yeah.
just life events. Like life is
Yeah.
there's like there's things, postpartum depression is real.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff. And so like
Thanks.
being able, and this isn't even like gonna put like, you know, um I'm just saying like you do your best to
Yep.
show that love and that care and that kindness.
Yeah.
And sometimes just things happen.
Yeah.
Um, but I think the most important thing, I mean, especially like I know like you're a Christian, I'm a Christian. I think the most important thing to me is that we are keeping our faith and keeping our eyes
Yeah.
on Christ. And then um, and as long as neither person or like neither thing is taking us away from that,
Yeah.
like we can work towards that healing and work towards
Yeah.
that, like, you know, that restoration. But if they start to bring you away from your faith,
Yeah.
you have to like look into that as well.
Yeah. That's good. And I think you mentioned another good thing, which is like both people, you have to be willing to fight. I think
Mhm.
that would determine whether or not you want to leave someone as well, because it's like you gotta be willing to, are you willing, are you trying to fight with me? Now, again, I'm not saying to divorce unless it's probably due to unfaithfulness, which is why I feel like, when you get in marriage, that's probably why they say like, hey, you got to be in it for the long haul because anything can happen.
Mhm.
Like you said, anything can happen. Are we just gonna leave each other? Or are we just gonna leave him or her because
Yeah,
now they're struggling with depression?
right.
That's kind of messed up, at least in my eyes.
Hmm.
You know, a lot of people think, a lot of people will say things physically. They're like, man, if they get physically impaired or they get, you see people walk away from a marriage because of that. It's like, oh, she's in a wheelchair now and she's paralyzed from the waist down. I can't do anything with that.
Yeah, or even like people with physical, I mean, physical appearance, as in like if she gains weight,
Yeah. Yep.
maybe she gains weight.
Yep.
Like, but see, like those are like to me, it's like those are that shows more of a shallow issue. Like that
Yep.
shows like that's the character that comes to your character and comes to
Yeah.
like how you are. Yeah, there's still gonna like, if you have conditions on, there shouldn't be conditions on love. Like,
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
um, I mean, as humans, a lot of times we put those on there,
Yeah.
um, but like love is, I mean, love is patient, love is kind,
Yeah.
love is not self-seeking, not self-serving, it's not selfish.
Yeah.
So you're not it it's not boastful,
Yeah. Puffed
um,
up. Yeah.
it's not jealous, it's not
Yeah.
rude. All of these things that love is and isn't. And it doesn't come with conditions. Like God's love doesn't come with conditions.
Yeah.
So like we're meant to emulate that um within, and our marriages are meant to emulate our relationship with Christ.
Yeah.
You know, husbands are meant to love their wife like Christ loves the church. Christ
Yep.
died for the church.
Yep.
And women are supposed to love and respect their husbands like they do
Yeah.
and submit to them like they do to Christ. So like um without those things,
Yeah.
like you can't do that. And it's not like I'm not just gonna submit to someone because they say I'm supposed to submit to them as a man because they're a man.
Yeah.
I'm so big
Mhm.
and I don't know, I'm macho or whatever because I'm a man.
Yeah.
I have these body parts, you have to submit to me. No,
Right.
I don't have to submit to you because of your body parts. I submit to
Yeah.
you because of your actions, because
Yeah.
of how you treat me,
Hey, how you doing, Master? Right.
like
Right.
the way that you show your love to me, which is how Christ showed love. So that's how I'll respect and submit to you.
Give me 1 second here, Care.
Mhm. Yeah, I know. I know you're working.
Sometimes the lighting.
You said what?
And this is your driver's license? Yeah. Okay. Good. May have to enter it in manually here. The birthday is August 12th. I'm sorry, July 12th. Okay. Sorry, I got you out here in the code, man. That's cool, man. All right. All right, we good. Just a signature? And good to go. All right, I appreciate you, man. Have a good one. All right. Hello? Hello?
You talking to me?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
I'm so
I
sorry.
wasn't.
No, no, no. I got you. I got you. I'm so sorry. I had to verify his ID.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Apologize about that.
That's okay. Gotta make your money.
Absolutely. And I'm actually done now, but I could go a little further. I just need to make a quick little buck, but this right here was pretty good. Um, but I'll see how it's looking when I get back over there on my side. It was like a 20-minute drive, so let's see. But that was good. What you just said was amazing. Um, oh, I freaking love that. I love what you said. I love what you said. Uh, I think, I think again, I think marriage in general, um, when it comes to mental health, you know, in many ways, right? We're becoming one if you want to look at it, I guess, biblically, you
Hmm.
know, and it's like their mental health in essence becomes yours. Would you say?
Yeah, I mean, like the two becoming one, it's
Yeah,
it's not necessarily that you are no longer your own person, like, and have don't have your own
yeah,
things, but you take on
yeah,
and become a partner with them. You
yeah,
know, it's like, and you're striving towards the same goals
yeah,
in life, not necessarily like, and you're just working together. I guess
yeah,
it's kind of like, when you think about even like a relationship with God, you are
yeah,
to become like we're striving to become like him, right?
yeah,
And our goal like with Christ, like the goal is to become more like Christ and
yeah.
be Christ-like and more loving and more kind
Hmm.
and emulate his characteristics, which
Yeah,
is the spirit and those things, love,
yep,
patience, kindness, gentleness, all of those things. And so coming
yeah,
together doesn't negate from the separate personalities that you have.
yeah,
Like you
yeah,
don't want to be the same person like entirely,
yeah,
but you want to like work in unity
yeah.
and come together for a common goal.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. And so, yeah, so essentially, like, you want to make sure that the other person, like, is taking care of their mental health and that
Hmm.
they're you're taking care of yours too. Like, and they,
Yeah,
encouraging you to take care of yours. But, um, so you can be there for each other, um, and, help one another through
yeah,
the difficulties.
yeah.
Like, I mean, life moments happen. Like, even you could be there's so many moments like you could be trying for having a baby together and then you lose the child. Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
and that's like so sad. Like,
yeah. And you
and
and one could blame the other,
one
and then that
person
becomes,
for
oh my goodness.
and that just like, and so what you want is you want to be able to like work through those things,
Yeah,
have somebody that you can.
yeah,
Um, Not to say like, you know, that if you don't do it this way, like,
yeah,
there can be blame. There can be things that happen. Like, we're
yeah,
humans, so we're gonna like, get angry at each other and stuff like that. But can you move past that
yeah.
and can you come back together? Like, and can you admit when you're wrong? Like, I think
Mm,
um a lot of times people don't like to like pride is something that I think holds a lot of people back.
yeah.
Um, and like, I think there's a place for every single type of emotion, even being proud, like there's a
Hmm.
place for it,
Yeah,
but you have to be able to use it correctly because
yeah,
if you use it in a way that like where you're so prideful that you won't admit when you're wrong, like that's gonna destroy relationships.
yeah,
That'll destroy a marriage, that'll destroy friendships, that'll destroy so many things. Like when you're just so prideful and arrogant that
yeah.
you can't admit when you're wrong.
Hmm.
or say sorry or apologize.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, talk about destroying a relationship. Yeah, that's true. I love what you're saying. You cutting it raw, and I think what we're talking about is really heavy because it's definitely something a lot of people I think in marriage don't either consider or aren't really thinking of. Like I said, it's oftentimes just the physical that you kind of think about, or you're like, yeah, if this happens, or if there, if this, or I'll never leave you, even if you ever go blind, or it's like, what about your
Mhm.
mental? Would you leave her or him when their mental is screwed up?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, or something's happening and they call a virus that's eating away, or dementia, right? We talked about those things as well. Like,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine Alzheimer's? Like, I think what's his name? The actor that plays Thor. I'm not sure if you've heard about that, but he opened up about him having the gene that triggers Alzheimer's and how
Oh, does he?
yeah, he said that it's pretty much I think Chris Hemsworth, I think it
It
is.
sounds right,
Yeah, he talked about
yeah.
yeah, hmm yeah, he has that gene and it's like I think the probability is like really high that he has this type of gene that's like really high that he'll have it. So essentially he had to deal with come to terms with the fact that he's gonna probably start to forget everything about his family, his wife, his kids as he gets older. And he's probably already experiencing it.
That's hard.
That's hard.
That would be so tough.
Say it
Like
again?
that would be so tough. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, it's very hard. I know, like I've had, you know, I mean, my grandpa had dementia. I talked
yeah,
about that
yeah.
before.
hmm
Like, and I've had people like who've had, you know,
Yeah,
um, like their father had Alzheimer's, and it's just really rough to see the
yeah,
decline in them. And like
yeah,
it's, I mean, that patience to have with them, it's
yeah.
like, um,
Oh,
but
yeah,
ultimately, like, I mean, it's really hard, but ultimately, again, it's not, it's out of their control. I think there's some,
yeah,
like, like some things you have to recognize are out of your control, out of their control. And it's not like
man.
they're trying to do this,
They're
like,
trying to do that.
like
Yeah,
they're trying to me, a lot of things come to intention as well. Like,
absolutely.
what is the
hmm
what is the intention? Is the intention behind the action or behind the words, was it malicious?
Yeah,
Was if that is, was it meant to be cruel? Because if it
yeah,
was, then 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 that's a whole nother story. That's a whole
yeah,
nother thing, like, to be dealt with.
yeah,
And if the intention is not that, then there has to be, it has to be met with a level of grace and compassion, and
yeah,
like, hey, what can I, how can we work through this?
yeah,
Like, because even if the intention isn't cruelty,
yeah,
the hurt can still be there.
yeah,
And so there still has to be something like talked about or done.
yeah,
Now, if the intention is cruelty, then they've already gotten what they intended, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
Um, and so no, like basically no amount of talking, no amount of anything is going to change because they got the result they wanted.
yeah,
Um, I don't, so I just think like you have to think about you have to think about intentions and your intentions and what are your
yeah,
intentions. And even with that is regardless of what other people's intentions are in any
yeah,
kind of situation, is how do you ultimately, you have to come back to how do you want to be
yeah,
um as a person? What do you want like your character and reputation to be, and
yeah,
like, and stand on that,
yeah,
like, and don't allow other people's um actions or words or things change.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's really good. Even I was gonna take it back a little bit to our previous group call, movies and TV shows group. So even going to From, right, and seeing
Mhm.
Kenny's dad and seeing how he was declining, and then
Yeah.
also his mom, and you see how he talked about how like she would get frustrated at times because he would do things and he's like, he
Mhm.
can't help it. He's going through dementia or things of that
Yeah.
nature. Even to
Yeah,
the point to where
exactly.
they're not even living together now. Like how you feel about that? Like couples that do that type of stuff. You think that's wrong?
Um, I don't want to place judgment on somebody for
Yeah,
like, like I said before, I think like there are sometimes when if it is like affecting your mental health so
yeah,
much,
yeah.
like,
Hmm.
like there was a person that like I didn't like I knew like they left their
Yeah.
wife who was struggling
Hmm.
with schizophrenia
Yeah.
and like um and took the kids too. But it was like, I mean, like the kids still got to be with their mom, but it was like she was starting to harm, like it was starting to cause harm and different things. So it's like
Man.
you can't blame them for doing what they thought was best at
Yeah.
the or even like for themselves, you know? Like
Yeah.
it caused issues later on down the road with some of the kids. Yeah. Like as they grew up just because of like different things, sure. There are consequences for those things, but at the time,
Yeah.
like I don't want to place judgment on somebody who's trying to also do the best that they can for their own mental as well.
Yeah.
Like does it like it's hard like to deal with like you're frustrated. Yeah. Like Kenny was like it's not his fault that he's going through it. It's really not. It's not his fault that he's going through it, but it's not your mom's fault either. Like she didn't ask for that either. She didn't
Yeah.
necessarily ask to have to take care of him. Um, and who knows what it was doing for her mental health. Um, I don't know. It's tough because you don't like there's not always cut and dry. There's not always black and white answers. There's not always like this is right, this,
Yeah.
you know.
Hmm.
There's a lot of nuance. There's a lot of like just different things
Yeah.
that come to mind.
Do you think that within marriage and having kids and having babies and things of that nature, do you subscribe to the fact that mental health is hereditary? Like, or do you think that's more so just like, you know, a myth in the sense where it's like depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, all these different things aren't things that are necessarily passed down. They're more so environmentally developed, hey, how are you being raised, who you're being raised around, those things
There,
probably play. Hmm.
yeah, so the nature versus nurture debate.
Yep, 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 yep.
Um, I mean, like within that, even within that debate, like a lot of times they come to like there's a balance of both. Um,
Hmm.
so I mean, there are, I think, some, I mean, I have to look into the research again, but I think there is some research that shows certain diseases like Alzheimer's or like different kind of like mental things can
Yeah,
be passed down that are hereditary. You can have those things, but I think it also affect like I mean, I guess I was talking about this with my sisters recently was just that like there are things that I believe like patterns
yeah,
can be passed down like
mhm,
because it's how you saw your parents handle something.
yeah,
And so then like perpetuate those patterns because it was like what you were used to. It's what
yeah,
you saw. It's how you like saw it um be done. And the only way for it really to be broken, I believe, is if you make that choice,
mhm,
try to do something differently
yeah,
and like start getting, seeking different ways to do it. Like even like going to therapy or going to counseling and finding new coping mechanisms, finding new ways
Yeah.
to like, handle a problem, handle
Hmm.
an issue, because you're like, this is the way I saw my parents do it. I don't feel like it was the right way. Like, it really messed with my mental health.
Yeah.
Now I want to figure out a way to do it, but I don't know how because this is all I know.
Yeah.
So, like, do you have like suggestions for me, I guess? And then like
Yeah.
going through those and breaking the pattern by doing something different.
Yeah.
And talking through that. Like I even talked to like I'm like, a lot of times people think you should only go to the therapist or therapy when you're
Hmm.
in a really bad place.
Yeah.
And while that's a good reason to go in the first place, it still is helpful for you and for the therapist to like see you when maybe you've had a good day, like, or you've had a good week, or you feel like you still go to the appointment and you talk about your successes and talk about like, hey, I had something like I had this situation come up and I did this and it worked
Yeah.
and you can be like, okay, that's awesome, because then it shows also growth for you, and like the therapist can see that growth as well and can help you like with other like areas. And
Yeah.
then maybe also you might have like you might think you're doing really well, and then you realize, oh wait, I had this like happen and I didn't necessarily do that well.
Yeah.
Maybe you could help me with that, you know?
Hmm.
I don't think like you don't need to just have it in your back pocket for when you're like really down, you know?
Yeah.
It can also be there for semi-normal days.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's really good. That's really good. I definitely second that 100%. And nature versus the nurture debate. I never heard that title before, but that's so true. And it's a good debate. It's a good topic.
It is. Yeah, there's a lot of research on it. There is.
Hmm.
I mean, the class I'm in now is lifespan and development, so they did touch on nature versus nurture.
Hey,
The thing that like people like come to is that it is more of a balance of both. Like there's not really one over the other.
yeah,
Both have almost equal influence.
yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
so
Wow. Yeah, it's again, I think it's a lot of things that play into mental health. It's a lot of things that play into that when it comes into marriage. And that's what I wanted to tie into the topic today. Just that level of well, actually, you made me come up with this topic. I was
I
like, oh,
did.
here
I
we go.
didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to.
No, it's good. This was good. This was really good.
I don't even know what your original topic was. I mean, we're
I
like,
don't even remember.
so you don't remember.
Nah, like
Hopefully you'll remember if it was a good one for like next week.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I'll definitely remember it later, but this was good. Like this was I'm glad you had me kind of branch out on this. Or shout out to Abner because we were talking about marriage and just
Where
like if you
congratulations on your wedding, Abner.
hey, even though he wasn't here, he
Yeah,
influenced the topic.
maybe he'll show up next week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all good. There's never any pressure. Never any pressure.
No
Yeah,
pressure.
he's always welcome. So
I put a little bit of pressure on my friends.
I know you did. You said you watched him do it. I told you. I told you. Tied that man up and you did it
I
yourself.
didn't tie anybody up.
Nah, I'm I'm teasing. So now we got fitness, right?
Yep, fitness is next.
This is next. Okay. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, so I'll see you on the
Yep,
next call. We got a little 5 minute intermission here, and
5 minute
we
break.
will pick back up.
All right, see you in the next one.
See you in the next one. Love ya.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Bye.